Wolf Pack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed the fantasy wolves here with yet another week 3 fantasy football tailgate. Time to get those lineups ready. Time to answer any sit starts you have. Get my rankings updated, fresh off my first Reddit AMA ever. It was awesome, over 300 questions, but now is the time to hit my crew, my live stream crew. So happy to be back with you. We got tons of news to get through. I have a bunch to update in my rankings. We got a bunch of questions, I'm sure, for Thursday Night Football. What an interesting, intriguing, everybody like, oh, the Dolphins versus the Jaguars discussing. No, man, we're going to get a fucking hideous, ugly, bombastic, just shootout all over the place, and I cannot wait for it. I had Preston Williams going tonight. It's got me jacked up way more than Preston Williams should ever jack up a human. I know Laviska Shenault is highly in the streaming radar. I wish I had him to God, because let's just get right into the news. Get your questions on in. I'm going to cover the news and the ranking implications as fast as I can to make sure we leave plenty of time to hit every single question that comes in. But the biggest news specifically for tonight is DJ Chark was ruled out earlier today, which gives Shenault and Cole some very highly viable streaming upside. In particular, I love me some Laviska Shenault. So let me pull in my rankings here. And I've already updated where Shenault went. I'll update some of these live. But as you can see right here at wide receiver 34 is where Shenault has come in for me. Just below Anderson, Darius Slayton, John Brown, Jerry Jeudy. Honestly, I'd probably rather have Laviska Shenault than Jerry Jeudy in my lineup tonight. I am just beyond thrilled if I can start this guy getting snaps at running back, receiver. He's going to be, this could be the coming out party, folks. So maybe I'm honestly a little low on the Reddit AMA. I was getting 8 million questions around Shenault, and it was very hard to not say him. Now, if you have good options, I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb in that shootout. I probably am going to go T.Y. Hilton, fresh off grandma's motivating words. One of my favorite puffs I've seen in a long time. But still, I mean, if you wanted to go Shenault, it is totally justifiable. Let me know your Shenault questions. Keelan Cole, not too far below him, as you can see here, right around wide receiver 42, just below Cooks, Preston Williams. Could see him outscoring both. He's got a touchdown in both games so far this season and seems to have really emerged. He could end up being more of the number one because he's a more prototypical wide receiver. I do think it's the Shenault show. I'd rather have Shenault in my lineup than Keelan Cole, but both of them, again, very, very viable streamers this week with DJ Chark out. And I do think it has to bump down Minshew just a slight uptick. His center is also going to be out tonight, more a little under the radar. Minshew's been, an absolute animal. 19 of 20 in game 1 completions. And then you have, of course, last week, just a bomb show when they were down, showing he really has some moxie. But I got a lot of like Big Ben versus Minshew, Brady versus Minshew. I'm screw it. We're going stash. I'm not moving him. Yeah, it hurts to lose Chark, but what's Chark seen? Like 5 freaking targets anyways a week. We're still riding the stash tonight, baby. I think it's going to be a hideous shootout, and I love hideous fucking shootouts. It's going to be fun. It's going to be thrilling. So let's friggin' go Wolfpack. Now, if you're watching and you're willing to give this a like, a retweet, a share on Facebook, always so appreciated. Again, I see your questions pouring in. I promise to hit them all as we go. Now, there are some injured alphas that we need to cover. Davante Adams, Julio Jones, and Michael Thomas all on the wrong side of questionable, it would seem. Maybe Julio, the most likely of the group to play, but he did not practice today, Thursday. We've seen him serve as a decoy in the past, like he'll gut it out, but then do absolutely nothing. So to me, he's one of the bigger fallers of the week. I can't confidently have Julio in my, elite wide receiver 1 tier. Certainly, Calvin Ridley getting an even bigger bump up. He already might be the number 1. I mean, certainly by the stats right now, but just at target share, everything, Calvin Ridley, just an absurd animal this season, on pace for 32 touchdowns right now, 128 catches and almost 2,000 yards. Let's hope that holds, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have a good chance to continue to maintain that elite volume this week. So I bump him just ahead of Allen Robinson on the other side of the ball. Getting a gorgeous matchup, squeaky wheel narrative. I love me some A-Rob. He's been a little, Mike Evans returning last week was great to see, just alpha back in action. But Allen Robinson, that matchup's just so juicy, as is Amari Cooper against Seattle, that shootout. This is kind of right where I slide them in. So Calvin getting the bump up. Julio, a little bump down. Honestly, probably below Odell Beckham against a Redskins team that's so much easier to throw on than run on. So I do like Odell this week. That's right around where, I couldn't have even Marquise Brown below Julio at this point. We'll see if he practices in full tomorrow. We could always update this. But for right now, he gets a bump down, as does, I'm going to just X out of Hopkins for now. Not Hopkins, rather, Adams, because the latest news is he's on the wrong side of questionable. Ian Rappaport today saying it doesn't look great. It's also Sunday Night Football. So, that's a tricky one. You got to wait it out. Like, who's your backup plan? Do you have MVS? Do you have Allen Lazard? Okay, well, then you can wait it out. Do you have Traequan Smith? Ooh, even like that more. But let's assume he's out. Where do Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Allen Lazard fall? Well, in all honesty, I don't love either of them because I really think the Saints secondary is quite legit. Lattimore will get the number one. I do think Marquez I'd have above, some of these guys. Obviously, the McCole Hardmans, although if Sammy Watkins sits, another story here. I think I'd rather have Marquez than Will Fuller, but I'd rather have Traequan on the other side of the bar. Deshaun Jackson, I do think could rebound this week. So I like him right there. Let's get Lazard, maybe even honestly in the better spot facing the number 2 coverage, but he gets a bump up. And with Julio out, Russell Gage would be, right up here, right up. It was just updating. So that takes 1 second. So Russell Gage, right in my top 36 for sure. I'd even rather have him in above Landry, despite that weak Brown secondary. So let me know if you got a Gage question. I would love to kind of weigh that, but he'd fall in right around wide receiver 34 at the moment. Not to brag, but these days had a great news this week that I'm in the top 10 of Fantasy Pros 2020 rankings. So let's go Wolfpack. I'm defending that crown, but also I want to get to that number 1 spot. So I will definitely comb through these yet again once the show is over. But I hope you trust me if you're here asking your questions. So that's it for the banged up guys. Michael Thomas, obviously not expected to go, which gives, Traequan, who had a nice day on Monday Night Football, ultimately leading, 7 targets, catching it with 5, 86 yards, leading the team, but more so working the middle of the field, kind of looking like a true number 1 receiver. Whereas in the years past, he's just kind of been a fly go decoy. He's always been able to do it. We've always long been Traequan Smith believers. Nick Underhill got us real high on him when he when he came on our podcast there. So I do like Traequan a lot. I think I'd rather have Keelan Cole. I have Anthony Miller up here because of the matchup versus Atlanta, but I'd rather have Cole than him. I'd rather have Traequan than him. He's so inconsistent, so I can't go all in there. So yeah, that's the banged up alphas. That's kind of the fallout of it. I do have to move Rodgers down quite a bit because when you're throwing to, when it goes from Davante Adams, who can eat any corner in the league, to now is Marquez going to beat Lattimore? Is Lazard going to beat Janoris? I don't know that I think so. So, in a week where there's so many good options, I do think he's got to get bumped down to maybe this lower end QB1. I think maybe they ride the run game a little bit. I think, Matty Ryan also takes a little hit with Julio Jones if Julio Jones misses it. Now, if he plays, you get him right back in there, but I don't want to keep those guys in those cheat code style tiers that we got up here. I am going to, just looking at it, bump down Josh Allen. Cam Newton at 6 is feeling a lot better to me. Now, other banged up injuries here, we got some Raiders, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs, all not practicing this week. Now, how much of that, and this is my belief, was that just a physical Monday night game, lots of hits, lots of cracks, just a maintenance day. That's kind of where I see this. That's what I think's going on here. So Darren Waller, I'll show you, still tight end, 4 here. Even 16 targets. It's hard to have him below Higbee. I guess a little bit banged up though. I'll go there. Hunter Henry, I think I'm going to have below Gasecki. I got a lot of Gasecki questions tonight, and Gasecki was just the guy I kept saying yes to. Coming off 120 in a TD day. Again, the shootout script. I really like a lot of what's going on. I think Jared Cook needs a little bit of a bump down. after that like kind of disappearing act last week on Monday Night Football. So this is kind of my tight end scene. Darren Waller staying locked in, but obviously something to monitor. But 16 targets are 16 fucking targets. You have to keep that in play. Josh Jacobs, I think, is a pure maintenance day. 30-something touches. He's definitely just getting the rest. Now, maybe I bump him below a Derrick Henry, a little banged up. Maybe, I love Austin Eckler against Carolina, so I could see him jumping into this tier above Josh Jacobs if he's banged up. A tough Patriots defense, easier to beat on the run than the pass, but, it's still tough. You just can't have Ruggs in your lineups this week. You shouldn't have had him anyways. There's nothing real special about what Ruggs has been shown. I've gotten some can I drop Ruggs? Yes, he's 53. And I bump him, honestly, below Curtis Samuel. We're going to talk about a little bit. We'll get a nice rise. But ultimately, you're not trusting Ruggs anyways. But a wide receiver I am trusting as he comes back this week. Keep the questions coming. You guys know I'm going to get to you. I promise. The whole second half of the show is always you guys. I'm almost done. I only have, 4 or 5 more updates for you. But Kenny Golladay is one that I'm getting a ton of questions on. That's where I structure these is, who am I getting asked about the most? Kenny Golladay, do I trust him coming back this week? And honestly, there's not a whole lot of evidence on receivers coming back from an injury and not performing because it's their first week, shaking off rust, especially when they're elite like Golladay. I think he's the weapon this offense has really been missing. And I think him paired up with Stafford again is going to be real nice. I think this just comes right back in. We saw what McLaurin did to this Arizona secondary. They're not good. They're not good at all, despite the abysmal stats the 49ers put up. That's just a lack of talent on their end. I think Golladay can really come on in, smash. I have him, top 18 in my wide receivers here. Now, he was limited in practice today, so it's not a complete lock. And if he's limited coming in and they're he's going to be on a snap count, of course we'll check it. But I do like Golladay getting back into most lineups. I do like Golladay at 6,200 on DraftKings, especially where I'm stacking Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins kind of all over the place. He's the perfect bring it back style play that I think could just go right back in for 100 TD, 8 catches. And I also think it benefits Marvin Jones to have this guy back on the field. And speaking of, round 3 wide receivers with blow up potential that we're all about, A.J. Brown, unfortunately, not likely to come back. That's been the expectation. It honestly seems like it might be multiple weeks here. And Corey Davis becomes, wide receiver 36 here, a very viable option. That Minnesota secondary is atrocious, no matter what, how they played against Phillip Rivers and the Colts. I still think they can get bombed upon. I do think Ryan Tannehill, as you saw, one of my favorite plays of the week, is going to smash these guys. So Corey Davis in play this week as a top 36 viable option, even above, AJ Green saying he's fully healthy, back ready in game shape. So I guess I would never put Corey Davis in above him, but you see where I slide Corey, and I'd probably put him more in this tier, but still a viable option this week. Now, George Kittle, I do have to add to my rankings. I didn't think it was likely he was going to play, but ultimately he's been limited. He returned to practice. Is he a must play? If he is in, it's George Kittle, and I can't imagine Shanny's risking it on that turf if Kittle's not, really, really close to 100. We'll see if he's on a snap count. We'll see if he's ready to go, but there is definitely a line to be drawn, where you can't have guys in over Kittle. I would probably consider that line right around here. I do like Noah Fant a bit more than most people. I'm going to have him up there. But yeah, Kittle would slide in. The Giants, not a threatening matchup by any means. So I think if Kittle plays, he's probably in your lineup. And speaking of 49ers, it is the Jarrett McKinnon time, baby. I'm just going to show you how high I have him. 11 spots higher than the ECR, all the way up at running back 19 or 18 rather, even above James Robinson going tonight. Probably the safer play. Robinson, high floor. You're getting 15, 20 carries. I just think McKinnon's about to be unleashed. I'm getting all these questions it's Jeff Wilson. He's going to take out. No. It's Jeff fucking Wilson. Look at who you're talking about. Jeff fucking Wilson. This is Shanahan's chance to prove this is my guy. I went out and signed him to the 4th highest contract. I know it was a couple years ago. I know I'm banking on a guy's ego. Why could you do that? Well, Shanahan's got a bankable ego. And it's one of those things you got to imagine him thinking it's now or never. is McKinnon ever going to be the workhorse? I saw it. The guy I got lost in the tape watching. And against the Giants, I mean, what better time to find out? I think the Ferrari's out of the garage. I think they're fully unleashing him. I think we get a nice 100 yards TD, maybe 2 game out of him. Shanahan even came out and said that we don't have him on a pitch count. He wouldn't be out there if he was on a pitch count. So all this talk about the turf, Jeff Wilson, I think it's going to be all for nothing, and McKinnon's going to smash. So let me know if you have some McKinnon questions, but clearly I am very, very high on Jarrett McKinnon this week. The last few I'm going to rifle through because no one gives a shit. Like the Jets wide receiver 1 versus Hampered 49ers. Do we care? No. The only reason I bring that up is DFS. They're all around 3K, Braxton Berrios and whoever the fuck's left there. But, you're not going to have Crowder this week. You're not going to have Perriman. You probably weren't playing them anyways. So if you're truly in the most desperate situations, Berrios seems to be the wide receiver 1 there. I'm not even going to go to the rankings, though. These are not worth seeing. Now, here's an interesting thread we're seeing a bit of. Is Curtis Samuel, is he going to be that benefactor of Christian McCaffrey's absence? Obviously logged a bunch of carries at Ohio State, right around 170, if I'm not mistaken, for Curtis Samuel. So, he's still rumored to get the bulk of snaps at wide receiver, but we saw him get 4 carries right out of the backfield last year. He's that move around perfect thing, type of weapon for Joe Brady's offense, and it hasn't come to full fruition quite yet. But this could be the time with Christian McCaffrey out as like a desperation out there on a lot of waivers right now. I could see Curtis Samuel putting up some decent sneaky numbers, sneaking into that backfield quite a bit. I like N'Keal Harry's target share. I like McCollum. So I ranked him up. I bumped him up because of a lot of this stuff. I think, I have Alan Lazard a little too high. I would keep Curtis Samuel right around here in streaming consideration plans for sure is my take on him. And I do think he could become that guy behind Christian McCaffrey, at least as the receiving guy out of the backfield. Kirk's unlikely to go, so let me just make sure I get him out of my rankings. There's not much else to say there other than get him out of the rankings. You were hopefully not I don't know why he was up that high, to be honest, anyways. Hopefully you weren't starting Kirk. He was one of the guys we were lowest on coming into the year. It's just another 15 plus targets, another just lock Hopkins into your DFS stacks with Kyler Murray, and good things will happen, folks. And last 2 here, Daryl Henderson. I'm a bit higher on the ECR. I think I'm about 9 to 10 spots higher on Daryl Henderson this week. You got Cam Akers coming along slowly with the rib injury, so they say. I don't think he's playing this week. They have no incentive to rush this guy back. And you also have Malcolm Brown, a little pinky injury, a broken pinky, though. I'm sure that does not feel good to carry the ball with. So I got Henderson right around my top 28. I'll have him in over Zach Moss. Even maybe over Singletary. He looked really good and explosive. We were so high on him coming out last year. And obviously way too high last year, but we saw a lot of the things we hoped to see for all of 2019 starting to come to fruition. And I really think Henderson, especially with the injuries, could have yet another big week, another 80 yards, another TD. I am very big into Henderson this week. I totally could see that guy eating. And then the last couple quick things. Cooks is, coming off an 8-target, 95-yard day against a very tough defense, and nobody wants to talk about it. He is banged up. He's limited. He's questionable. He's going to play. Is a Pittsburgh secondary, so tough. But, honestly, rest of season, I wouldn't be shocked to see him outperform Will Fuller, that disappearing act. Jack Doyle's back in practice, which does limit Mo Alley Cox's streaming appeal just a little bit. He was the highest graded tight end by Pro Football Focus of last week, of the last 4 years, I believe it was. But ultimately, even the Jet smash spot might not be quite as appealing if Jack Doyle's back. Maybe that's where Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, some of those guys would have to be in above him. A little too low on Evan Ingram, it would seem, this week. I might have to rectify that with Shepard out, I got to adjust that for sure. And last but not least, Justin Jackson is out. Not that you were ever considering him. It's just locking in Josh Kelly, one of my favorite plays of the week. I think he gets in for 2 scores against that awful Carolina defense. 3 touchdowns to Josh Jacobs. What was it? 3 total given up last week as well on the ground. They're just a touchdown machine to running backs, and he's their goal line guy. So I love Eckler, love Josh Kelly in my top 20 over guys like Gurley, those ugly running backs and bad matchups. David Johnson. Give me Josh Kelly. Alrighty, folks. as you're all probably here for anyways. I hope that news was helpful. Let me know any questions that popped up. But let's get to your questions after I take a nice healthy swig of beer for the tailgate, baby. Put them up. Mike Clay, my dude, sit Kittle one more week, Shanahan. I would kind of agree, right? You don't need him. Let's see him get fully healthy. Let's not risk him going out there and getting hurt. Tyler Polonsky, thanks for tuning in. Deontay Johnson or Devante Parker. I go, they're neck and neck. I go Deontay. I mean, leading the team in target share, like 30, almost 30%, having about 70 more air yards than JuJu right now. He is sneakily their number one. And now JuJu also a little banged up right now. Questionable to play. I should have had him in here. That note just popped up this week. So I go Deontay. I do love Parker tonight. I really think he's as good of a bet for a touchdown as anybody this week against that awful Jags defense. So I like getting Parker, and he's my 25 compared to 20. So let me get these out so you can just see this beautiful face. I have Deontay, though, 22 compared to 25 for Parker. Jarrett was my first round pick in my keeper league 3 years ago. Fuck Jeff Wilson. Roos, it's time for him to be unleashed. It's time to go. Screw Jeff Wilson. We're getting the McKinnon show. I'm all aboard that train this week. What do you think about Reed this week? It all comes down, Jimmy Bridges to Kittle. And as we said, he's limited. He's practicing. Now, if Kittle sits, then yeah, get Reed right back into those lineups. But if not, you can't have Reed in there. Yeah, Kittle's playing. Reed goes instantly to the bench. Ishmael, my dude, what's up, brother? Wolf, is this a get-right spot for Mixon, or can we trust McKinnon as a flex? Got Diggs and Keelan Cole benched also. I don't know about bench and Diggs, but I think this is the get-right spot for Mixon. I think this is, you keep waiting. Is this going to be the week? Is this going to be the week? I think this is going to be the week. How could a coach look at that film and see what Gio Bernard did on his targets and what Joe Mixon did on his targets and ever fucking think it's justifiable to put Gio Bernard ever into a game, but never mind the most critical of like third downs and comeback mode and all that stuff? You got to think they're smarter than that. I got to believe Zach Taylor, who came out and said the second half of last year was when we were at our peak because we were feeding Mixon. Let's think he finally wakes up this year. I'm going with Mixon one more week. My running back 14. McKinnon's close. I like Diggs, but he's got Ramsey. So give me Mixon one more time, Ishmael. Matt Ryan or Tannehill, week 3, 6 point per passing TD. I stick with Ryan. Now, Anthony, if we find word that Julio is actually legitimately out, then this could switch because I do really like me some Tannehill. But how could you bench Matty Ice after these last couple of weeks? That defense is so atrocious. They're going to be constantly playing catch up. So give me Matty Ice all day. Oh, it looks like I was starting in like the middle of the questions. So let me get back here. Sup, Scout Pan. I want to make sure I get to the top of it. You the man, Wolf. Garrett Ford, you're the man too. What's up, Anthony? Sorry, guys, I missed the top. I will make sure to hit these all now. Taking a deep shot at wide receiver 3, going Laviska over Fuller and Djax. Scout Pan, I am 1,000% with you. I have him higher than both those guys, and I wouldn't hesitate twice. I think you are 1,000% right with that one. Minshew tonight or bench him for Tannehill? I go Tannehill. I already wanted Tannehill a bet ahead of Minshew, and without Chark, without his center, I'm going to go Tannehill there. But it is close. The mustache is so fun to root for. But I like Tannehill against Minnesota for sure. Gaskin or Golladay in flex spot. John, who's my tight end. I got to go Golladay there. Now, I think I also have Gaskin above Jonnu Ravi to get him in, get some Thursday night football action. Just, what a beast last week. But ultimately, I got to roll Golladay, as we were talking about in the top of the show. I really think he comes back and just is as if he didn't miss time. We'll see. Would love to hear your opinion on the Laviska start. Yeah, I just gave it to you, my man. All about it. All about Laviska tonight. I think this could be the coming out party. Do I start Parker tonight? Tunes, I really think so. He's my 25th receiver of the week, but I think, again, really good bet for a touchdown. A lot of get-right spots tonight. Beard versus the stash. Let's go. Exactly, baby. Hideous battle of facial hair, and I love it. Who would you like more, Gasecki or Hurst for Daniel Howland? My dude, I got to go Gasecki there. Rolling him tonight. Bad Jags team. Shootout, feel to it. I'm going Gasecki. Robinson or Mixon, PPR. Is that James Robinson or Allen Robinson? We got to confirm that. If it's Allen, I go Allen. If it's James, I go Mixon. But that's how I look at those two. Visco over Fuller and Djax. Yes, sir. As we caught that one. Don't you worry. Miles Gaskin or Henderson. I'm going Henderson. I like Gaskin's like snap share. I like his usage, but he doesn't seem to get it in the red zone. That becomes Howard's. He's just kind of like a in between the 20s, like bleh. Give me Daryl Henderson, less bleh to his in between the 20s game and get some goal line looks too. Just glad we have a Thursday night football. We almost had none at all, my dude. Oh, totally agree. What a season. It's been so exciting to have it back. I was so skeptical. Keelan Cole or Preston Williams, PPR for A. Phila. That is a really tough one. I have them literally 40 and 41 in my wide receiver rankings. Personally, if I had both, I would probably go Keelan Cole is where I lean for that one, but both really good bets to score tonight. I just like all the weird action tonight. But yeah, give me Keelan Cole on that one. How you doing, man? I'm great. How are you, brother? Young Sheik. Oh, good to see you, man. Got to choose between Gesicki, Hurst, and Hawk this week and season long. I like Gesicki tonight, and, season long, I like them all. They're all really intriguing. Those are all great options. I really hope Gesicki doesn't just fall on his face, but he was so involved and so just fucking good. Bodying Tre'Davious White for a touchdown. Like, he is good. And they don't have anybody who can handle him on the Jaguars defense. So I like Gesicki tonight. Start Parker. It depends who the other option is, but yes, I would 100% get him right back into my lineup. It's his time. You're down on Fuller too. Yeah. What the fuck's to like about him, dude? Sitting on the sidelines, stretching. Classic Will Fuller. I told you to sell high week 1, and I hope people listened because we got the exact Will Fuller experience last week. 0 points, stretching on the sidelines. I would puke before I have that guy back in my lineup this week. Shenault's going nuts tonight, says Aaron Van Deventer, the favorite fullback of the fullback dive. I agree. I think this could definitely be his coming out party. Roto Street GOAT, my dude, Corey Wilkes, sending you blessings. Man, cheers. I appreciate those kind words. I'm going to drink this one to you. Much appreciated, man. I love doing it, and I love you guys. That's why I do it. I just dropped Corey Davis for Jamison Crowder. I don't know. I mean, Crowder, when he's back, like rest of the season, probably has more value because we know A.J. Brown will eventually get there. Glenn, but I mean, at least if you need a starter right now, Davis is certainly higher for the next couple of weeks. But meh. Great analysis there. Meh. Full PPR to go with Zeke, David Johnson, or Josh Kelly. I'm going Josh Kelly there, baby. Russell Kaiser. Like I said, I really think he's a bet for 2 scores this week. David Johnson, that tough matchup against Pittsburgh, didn't do much in tough matchups last week. I go Josh Kelly. I got Lockett, Moore, Evans starting, Lamb on bench. Do I put him in even over one of them? I mean, man, I want to get Lamb into all my lineups this week. I love him at DraftKings 5,400, but over those 3, no. You're just too stacked, Mitchell. I can't recommend benching any of those guys as much as I love me some CeeDee Lamb. I can't do it this week over those guys. Gesicki, Jonnu, or Hurst. You got some fucking beastly tight ends, Chris Parada, 24. I go Gesicki. I really am just feeling it tonight. That Jonnu, though, is the safest. The Jonnu's my favorite of the safe plays. But I just, the way Gesicki blew up last week, and the Jags just have nobody that's going to be able to stay with this guy. So I stick with him. I rip him. Robinson, Mixon, or Davis as PPR RB. I stick with Mixon. Gus Fink. I'm not ready to bench Mixon for either of those two. Robinson, a nice play tonight. Probably going to get 15 carries. Probably going to get you 75 to maybe even 100. Maybe finds the end zone. But it's Mixon. This was your number 1 pick. Maybe number 2. Give it another week. That's how I'm playing Mixon, at least. Ravi, start Minshew or Matt Ryan? I'm still going Ryan, especially losing Chark from Minshew. It's not enormous, but it's enough of a loss, losing his center. I go Matt Ryan. He's just been too good, and those scripts are going to just continue to be pass happy. Justin Mars, hey, it's been a while since you've been tuned into the show, brother. Standard league. That's right. You are in a fucking dinosaur useless league over here, but I'll still answer your question. Need to start 2 at wide receiver. Hilton, AJ Brown's going to be out, so let's cross him off your plans. MBS, Corey Davis, Russell Gage. So to answer that one, I go TY. Grandma's pep talk. I just laugh every time I fucking say that. Grandma, TY, you didn't look like you usually do. And now TY says that's all I needed. I love it. Fucking give me grandma's pep talk every day, baby. Give it to me. I like T.Y. Hilton, though. And out of those other guys, it comes down to Gage versus Davis. So let's check in on Sunday, like what's Julio's status? If Julio's out, I think it's Gage. If Julio's in, I think it's Davis. But Hilton's like my favorite of the bunch. And then I go probably Davis, but maybe Gage, depending on Julio's status. And then half-point PPR, Kupp, Gallup, Djax. You only need one for your flex. Okay. Kupp, Gallup, Djax, Cole. I go Kupp there. I got to keep going with my guy, Kupp. And then standard league, Eckler or Kelly. You got to keep going, Eckler. I like the spelling there, Eckler. Keep going with your guy. Can't sit Mixon. I agree, Scout Pan. It is crazy. It's Mixon. Who's the PPR start for flex? Robbie A, Judy, Josh Kelly, or Hurst? Sports and digs, I'm going to go Josh Kelly. Again, I'm really high on this guy finding the end zone at least once, probably twice against this bad Carolina team. Preston Williams, a viable flex, no doubt. I need to know what the other option is. And also WR3, you got to keep in mind too that you don't want to flex anybody on Thursday night. It just takes away your flexibility. So you want to put him in your wide receiver spot and then move someone down, unless you are very superstitious about I don't want to move my number 2 receiver to the flex because it's going to send a message. I get that too. I actually totally, I'm saying it sarcastically and then kind of laughing because I'm like, I'm never going to put Evans in my flex. So it's superstitious and I kind of love it, but the smart play is to never put a flex player in on Thursday Night Football. Would you feel comfortable trading Eckler for Julio? Again, trades are always tough to analyze because it depends on your team needs. I probably, with this hamstring thing, Herbert looked really, really good competing with the Chiefs there. 58 receiving yards for Eckler last week, just kind of sparking that. I'm not looking to make that move. I value running backs higher. And Julio's kind of sketching me out. And it's like, this is Ridley's show now. So give me Eckler. Here we go. Back to the pep talk, baby. Yes, of course the pep talk gives me tons of hope, babe. That's like the biggest bump up the rankings you could ever ask for is a grandma's pep talk. Are you shitting me? It's gotta be Hilton over E. Sanders if that's the question. But let me know who you're considering him for. Cheers to grandma's pep talks, baby. Russell Kaiser. Thoughts on Bobby Trees this week? I love me some Bobby Trees. Is Bobby Trees Robert Woods? Is that who the fuck is Bobby? I just want to make sure Bobby Trees. I want to make sure I'm talking about the right guy. If it's Bobby Woods, I'm probably thinking of the wrong guy, Russell. But Robert Woods, I love. Revenge game narrative. Moves into the slot where they've been getting destroyed, the Bills. I have no qualms starting Robert Woods, but I could be dead wrong. I might just be a little too high to answer that one. M. Davis, Kelly, Moss, Montgomery, pick a flex. I'm sticking with, Montgomery I do have just above Josh Kelly. He's looked really good, and they're going to probably move the ball at will on Atlanta. I think he's probably the safest bet, but Kelly would be the next man up, Daniel Howland. I really love him. Lisa, what's going on? Hello. Should I get Washington defense and drop Chiefs defense? I don't want Chiefs this week facing Baltimore, so yes. If Washington's your best option, then yes. I'd like to see, is there anyone better? I like the Bucs more against Denver. I like, the Colts this week is a great pickup that was out there in a lot of leagues. I personally am going the Chargers, my defense 6 this week. I picked them up in a lot of leagues facing Carolina without McCaffrey. I like him a lot. So Washington at 12, I like them, but, let me pull my rankings up for you. I'll show you. I have the Washington football team at 12, but ultimately, are any of these other teams above them is something worth checking for. All righty. MVS or Lazard? I go MVS, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see either of them shut down this week. If Adams doesn't play, they are the pinnacle of the receivers that need somebody taking the number ones away for them to have value. Like Lattimore is going to eat either of those guys, but MVS is the one getting the deep targets. That's where I lean. Legend Inc. Is Viska the play tonight? Absolutely, the real fatness. One of my favorite names of all time. Yes, I don't know who you're comparing him to, but I am getting Laviska in tonight, no doubt about it. Yoder, good to see you, Yoder. Need to fill a flex spot between these four: Robinson, Parker, Josh Kelly, McKinnon. Ooh, baby Yoda. Some of my favorite plays. Dare I say, lean McKinnon, the riskiest of the bunch, I would say, but kind of my sexy favorite. If not him, I'm going to go Parker because I do think Parker finds the end zone tonight. But McKinnon is, me, I'm all in on McKinnon. So if I'm sticking to my guns, it's McKinnon. If you want the safer play, you go Parker or Robinson. They're all good options. As I said, I think Kelly gets in the end zone once, maybe twice. I love them all. McKinnon is my personal favorite of that bunch, though. MVS Lazard, I answered that one. Stop asking, dude. How much do you trust Golladay with a 2-week layoff? Chemistry could be off. I don't buy the off chemistry, not at all. I keep Golladay in over Boyd. I keep Deontay in. I do sit Preston. Now, if let's pay attention. I know you'll be on Sunday, Daniel. So Sunday, 11 a.m., we will be back. But let's see if Galladay's like snap count or warms up and might be eased in. If we see some of that, then of course you're going Boyd. But I lock in DK. Oh, I'm picking one. Deontay. Deontay's probably the lock there then. I thought it was you're picking 2. Congrats on the top 10. Thank you, my dude. Very, very pumped about it. Very, very pumped. But now it's time to go for that top 5 and then hopefully climb up to 1. I got to keep it going for the pack, baby. Gaskins or Traequan, half PPR for B. Rube, 44. I don't get the Gaskins love. I get the usage. I get the snaps. And I see a guy that gets vultured every time he's in the goal line. I see a bad line in front of him, so he's doing like meh. Traequan with bad Green Bay secondary, no Michael Thomas. I'm going to go Traequan here. I think there's a lot of upside there. Top 10, let's go. 909 orbits, yes sir. Very, very pumped about it. It made my week. I got out of class from teaching, opened up my Twitter, and was like, holy shit, this is amazing news. But of course, the Wolf has to keep going, baby. Not satisfied, happy. Very content, very proud, but also not complacent. Let's keep it going, baby. Do you think Judy will be able to handle as a wide receiver one? I do. I mean, you've seen these guys routes. So he is dangerous. Now, against the best of the best corners might be tricky, but I think most weeks Judy's going to be up for the task. He's one of the better route runners we've seen come out in quite some time, Mitchell. Devante Parker or Odell Beckham. I go Odell there. I love Devante this week. But Odell against a Washington team that's far easier to pass against than run. I think we get a nice game from Odell. He gets deep at least once. Congrats. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Also, Gage in my half-point PPR. Well, I don't remember your question, Justin Mars. If you haven't noticed, I've probably answered about 45 since yours. So remind me of what's going on over there, Maz boy. Would you start Shenault tonight, full PPR? So the answer is yes. I need to know who else is in contention, Stephen Drake's, but I have no reservation. If he's like my clear best option, get him on in, baby. I'm all about Shenault tonight. Absolutely. I think he's going to crush it. Pick 2, McKinnon, Gurley, or Hunt. I am benching Gurley out of that option. He's so TD dependent, so game flow dependent. He gets and game flow never is going to be in his favor because that defense is so fucking bad. So give me McKinnon and give me Hunt this week, Giuseppe. I'm all about it. Just saying, thank you for all the advice. You got me the Super Bowl in one league in 2 years straight. Trust you. Cheers, man. That's all. That's what I'm here for. I love it, Daniel. I appreciate the kind words. Cheers. With all these celebratory cheers, I'm going to have to go get another beer in a second. Tien Nijin. Sorry, I butchered your name, my dude. Drop Cam Akers for Gaskin, Gibson, or Boyd, flex half PPR. I can't give up on Akers yet. The ribs are coming along slower than expected. He's going to be hurt. Rest this guy. Get him healthy. I don't hate the Miles Sanders like Jordan Howard ate early last year, and then finally Sanders really slowed down and he got together. I don't hate those comparisons. He could be full trash by the end of the season, but I like keeping Akers. Like Gaskin, I can't get behind Gaskin. I get the volume. I get the usage. I get he's the lead guy. but the lead guy on a crap team that's going to throw far more than they're going to run. I'm not a Gaskin guy. What can I say? And then Gibson or Boyd, flex half PPR. That's a tricky one. Gibson in a tricky matchup against Cleveland, but not impossible. 66.7% snap share last week was damn sexy. Now, are we going to get that third down work from J.D. McKissic and send this dude to the moon? When that happens, it's over. That being said, I like the matchup for Boyd. I like the rapport Boyd was showing with Burrow pretty late in the game, especially towards the red zone. This is a hard one. You're really hurting my brain here. I think I go Boyd, but I'm not feeling overly confident. That's not a runaway for me. Dropped Rager after the news. Could you give me a top 3 to 5 to target on the waiver wire? Tunes, off the top of my head, you're going to have to give me the best available at this point, honestly. Who are some names? If you filter it like by highest percent owned or ad drops, every waiver wire is so different. Like my league, we have 20 bench spots, so it's like there's nobody. I don't know who's going to be out there for you. I would say, there's a lot of intriguing tight ends these days with Dalton Schultz blowing up, Sample, like if you're hurting at tight end, but your league might be shallower and those guys deserve to be out there. So I'd like to know what names. Henderson was an unbelievable pickup. Obviously, Davis and Freeman with the injuries in front of them were huge pickups. So those guys are probably gone by now. If Shenault's there, sprint. Shenault's like the favorite of anybody out on waiver wires right now. Sprint and go get his ass. But Cole as well tonight, potentially. Let's see what he does. Roos. James Robinson or Gurley, much appreciated, Fantasy Wolf you. My dude, I got to go Robinson there. Again, I'm so down on Gurley, and I was down coming into the year, and it's because of everything we're seeing. Game flow dependent, TD dependent, and neither of those, they're thrown when they get to the red zone because Calvin Ridley's just the GOAT here. So give me James Robinson there. Diego De Leon, great to see you, brother. Cheers, I missed you. I think you're the one that always drops us in share groups, if I'm not mistaken, and that always is huge for us. So if you want to do it again, thank you, brother. But Godwin, Cup, Cole Sr., or Harry, I go with the first two. I like Cole tonight. I like that he scored in back-to-back games, but over Godwin, no. Over Cup, probably not. And the Bills, Hardit's had the tweet. I think I have it saved somewhere. Hold on real quick. Hardit's had it where they've just gotten destroyed by slot receivers, the Bills. And that's where Cup does almost all of his damage. So it was Crowder in week 1 with the poor tackling. We saw that 150 and a TD. And then, Isaiah Ford, some random nobody for the Dolphins, plus them, moving around their weapons, Gesicki into the slot, 130 and a TD. Like they don't have the guys to hang there. So what's up, Wolf? Jimmy Bridges, my dude. Good to see you come back, Kittle. We'll see. And then we got sick Kittle. So this is where I had started the show. So let me go back, see quickly which ones I got to. So I got to Ishmael. I got to play Josh Robinson over Jay Kelly. Damn, I think this is where I left off. Matt Ryan. This is exactly the last one I remember. So Matt Ryan or Tannehill, week 3. Drafted McKinnon in every league, was only able to keep him in 1, and everyone spent a ton of. Why did you drop him? Why were you only able to keep him in 1? What are you doing, Mike? Come on. Play Robinson over Jay Kelly? Yes, but it's literally, I have Robinson 19 and Kelly 20, so it's not like a no-brainer, surefire lock, Mitchell Chavez. Josh Kelly or Austin Eckler, who do you start? Standard league, Justin Mars. Got to be Eckler, despite the standard league. Eckler's just a monster. He's going to find the end zone this week. That thing positively regresses. You got to go Eckler. Antonio Gibson or Mike Davis, PPR. I go Gibson there. I like to see what Davis does. 8 catches in the fourth quarter on 8 targets. Nice. But Antonio Gibson, we're only starting to see the coming out party. Did you see some of those highlight clips where he is just laterally so fucking quick, breaking ankles everywhere, Rusty B? I love Antonio Gibson. I really do. Laviska or Josh Kelly, half PPR, WR3. Woo! I love them both, man. Why are you doing this to me? I go Kelly. Like I said, I really think Kelly finds that end zone twice tonight. Not tonight, on Sunday. But, man, if you're just I want some Thursday night thrill, Laviska is going to get you excited. He's going to be a beast tonight. So I totally get it. It's not like a, you have to go Josh Kelly type of prediction here. But I like Kelly there. I need a good D streamer this week. So again, Chargers, we're out there in a ton of leagues. If they're still there for you, FF undefeated, my dude Jake. I go Chargers first. And then ultimately, it gets tricky from there. I mean, the Bucks, if they're still out there, face the shitty ass Broncos. Like the Rams are out there in a lot of leagues. I see the Washington team against the Browns. I hate Baker. So, I mean, I could see like the Washington team getting to Baker and making him do some dumb stuff. So one of those ones, Arizona as well against Detroit, could be very intriguing. Robinson or Gurley, half PPR. Robinson, my man, Roos Robinson, 2 TD dependent for Gurley. What do you think about Titans? Oh, we got a bunch of questions, so I'm going to have to get through these quick because we have, 20 minutes till kickoff, so let me start ripping these. Titans versus Min, Cleveland, Washington, Giants versus San Fran. Not Giants, no, shut up. No Giants, come on. They're horrible. And then we got, I like Titans versus Minnesota. That Titans D is pretty pesky. The Browns against Washington's intriguing too, though. But give me the Titans, I think, there. Hate to keep Lamb on the bench, but I have Lockett and Evans starting. Yeah, you got to keep those guys in above him. Diego, McKinnon, Kelly, Robinson, Gaskin. Start 3. I'm benching Gaskins from that bunch. Gaskin's the easy bench for me there. Ingram or Goddard, PPR. This week, Ingram getting that tough 49ers matchup, but you also have Shepard out, which increases his outlook a bit. Give me a little bit of 909. You're giving me a tough one here. Beard gang, baby, love it. Goddard. I think I like Ingram better. I own Goddard, and if I had Ingram on my bench, I think I'd toss him in there. Can you put in order Gesicki, Ertz, Jonnu? I'm gonna go the exact order you presented them in, Monarch. Is how I feel about that. How do you feel about playing Eckler and putting Kelly in the flex over M. Jones and M. Ingram, PPR? I don't love playing both, but like, again, if there's ever a team to do it against, it's Carolina. I think I do it. I think I do it this week. I like Marvin Jones. I don't want Ingram. I like Marvin Jones with, Golladay sucking up number 1 corners, but I think ultimately these guys are going to combine for 3 touchdowns probably between Eckler and Kelly, whereas Jones, I think, has a good shot to blow up, but I'm not positive. Those of you on YouTube too, I hope you're subscribed. And if you want notifications for when we go live, hit that bell. And if you're on another platform, one of our biggest goals is to hit 1,000 on YouTube. We're real close. We're like right at that 900 cusp. And you guys know at this point, we should be far bigger. So come on, help the Wolf out here as he's helping you. Do us a solid, even if you don't use YouTube, and hit that subscribe button. Because once we hit 1K, we can do some interesting things. And we really want to get there. So if I've helped you at all, give us a quick little follow on YouTube. It would mean the world. And especially if you follow us and want the lives, hit that button. Let's keep going, guys. BDM on YouTube here. Tough decision. Could use advice. Full PPR. Diggs, Deontay, Fournette, Woods, Gage, Corey Davis, Kelly. That is a tough decision, dude. To me, I'm going to go Deontay and Woods. My third of that list, if it helps to know the third, would be Kelly for all the reasons we've talked about, 1 to 2 TD upside. But BDM, I think I'm going Woods and then Deontay as my top. Both in my top 22 receivers, and I like them both a lot this week, especially if JuJu sits. I mean, damn, Deontay. That's going to be beautiful. K. Cole or M. Jones for fella? I'm going to go M. Jones. I like Cole. I do. But I really like Jones getting the secondary coverage of a bad Arizona team. Kelly, Henderson, Gibson. I know you're big on Kelly, and I love the matchup. Kelly is my favorite of the 3. I like them all, Mike. They're all good running backs. But yeah, Kelly's my favorite of this week. Who should I trade for running back help? Green, Keenan, Hollywood, Amari, Slayton, ODB, Cole. I mean, it's to me, anybody's sellable at the right price. I don't like Green. He's my least favorite of these options you gave me. Cole's the least favorite. But you're going to get the least for him. I think Green has like the best name value, like the bang for your buck in terms of who I don't like and who you could get the most for, Michael. But it all comes down to what are you getting in return? If you're trading Amari Cooper, but you're getting a wide receiver, a running back 1 in return, okay. I like Cooper, Hollywood, and Keenan, though, a lot. And Slayton with Shepard out could become a real target hog. So Green's my favorite to trade because I think he's got the name value. I think you can get the most for him. Not the most, like he's compared to Cooper, but like for the bang for the buck is what I'm getting at. If Malcolm Brown, along with Akers, doesn't end up playing, how significantly does Henderson rise? I mean, it's got to be pretty significant, right? Because Brown is a threat for goal line touches and receptions. If it's just the Akers show, I mean, he's got to get right into your top 20, right? He'll be right, probably just ahead of McKinnon, where you know how high I am on McKinnon. If it's just the Henderson show, though, then yeah, I think I'd have him right by McKinnon, right ahead of McKinnon. Good question. Gaskin or Henderson? I go Henderson. Again, I feel bad. I'm so down on Gaskin. Maybe I haven't watched enough. Maybe I haven't looked at his stats enough. But to me, I'm not answering yes to Gaskins in most of these. So I could be dead wrong. Watch him go for 3 touchdowns tonight. And sorry if that happens, but just Gaskin doesn't do it for me. Would you start both Shenault and Cole? Because I have Thomas and I only have Tate and Crowder as other options. Man, that's tough. I think I would probably go one because that's putting a lot of faith, Giuseppe, in this Jaguars offense, and I think they do put up some points. I like Tate this week, though. I do. I think that 49ers defense, very banged up. You got no Shepard, and Daniel Jones had a really nice rapport with Tate last year. So I go Shenault and I go Tate out of those options. Crowder's not playing, by the way, so you can kind of cross him out. Someone in my league dropped Baltimore. Should I pick it up for the stash? Since they're playing KC, I have Tennessee D in an open roster spot. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt to stash a great defense, one of the top options. But I always love stashing like a player that could just leap into an unbelievable situation. If you had stashed Mike Davis last week, which you never would have done, but I mean, had you, look at what you would have had. So yes, but also it's defense. So, what's Baltimore's week, matchup next week? If it's like a no-brainer, they're going to be number 1 defense of the week next week, then yeah, I don't know that far ahead, to be honest. Keenan Allen or James Robinson have PPR. Give me James. I love how Keenan looked with Herbert, but give me James. I think he's going to be fun to watch tonight. Hollywood or Golladay, flex PPR. I got to go Hollywood there. That's where, I like Golladay, but I got to go Hollywood. That game they're going to need points. They're going to be slinging it. And when the Ravens sling it, it's the Hollywood show. And this is the Hollywood show this week. My man, Corey Wilkes, T.Y. Hilton and Robert Woods, despite all those pep talks from Grandma for Hilton, this is where I draw the line. I value those pep talks very highly. Grandma Hilton is quite the rallier, but it's got to be Robert Woods. I really think he's going to light it up this week. Gurley or Hunt? I go Hunt. I go Hunt there, Giuseppe. I'm just, as you guys can see, not answering yes to Gaskin or Gurley. So wait till they blow up this week. But yeah, I like Hunt. He's kind of more game flow game flow proof rather than Chubb. If they get down, he's still going to catch the ball. If they're up, he'll still get his series. So I like Hunt. Hollywood, Woods, or Kelly? Oh, 909, man. That's a freaking brain buster. Woods, Hollywood. It's not Kelly, and I've raved about Kelly on this show. It's between Woods and Hollywood, and that's because I love them both so much. Today, I'm going to tell you Woods. Sunday, when you check in, I'm probably going to tell you Hollywood. But for right now, I'm going Woods. Logging off, but appreciate you, brother. Have a good time watching the game. Cheers, my man. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the good fans like you guys. You guys are the best. Montgomery or Kelly for the flex? You guys know how much, Maz, I hate Montgomery, and yet I got to go with him. He's going to get a touchdown against Atlanta, like no doubt. Kelly's going to get a touchdown against Carolina too, but give me the lead guy. Give me that lead. Bobby Trees is Bobby Woods. Okay, I was right. Thank God. There we go. I don't look like a complete moron now. Marvin Jones and Devante Parker, T.Y. Hilton, Sanders pick 2. Parker and Hilton is where I'm going. Gut says Jones and Parker, though. I could see Jones beating out Hilton for sure. Ridley's locked in, definitely. Could you put any of those in the flex over McKinnon or Eckler? No. I like Eckler over them, but I think I got to have Parker in my lineup. I got to have Ridley. So Hilton versus Jones, I have them like wide receiver 28 and 29. Like they're literally neck and neck tune. So if your gut saying Jones, like go for it. I personally probably go grandma's pep talk with Hilton. I'm all about team pep talk this week. I don't know why, but I am. Do you think Gesicki over Ingram, even with Shepard and Saquon out? I do, Brandon. I do. I'm all about it. The Pick'em contest is live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So I'm going to take a quick pause. Don't worry. Going to get to all your questions, but I'm going to retweet the contest here. It is essentially you pick 5. We list out 5 Thursday Night Football matchups, and you got to pick the right ones. So off the top of my head, it's obviously the quarterbacks, Minshew versus Fitzmagic. Then we're going to have Parker versus Robinson, Gasecki versus Laviska, Preston versus K. Cole. I don't even know how CJ combined all these. Well, what do we got here, CJ? So we got Fitzmagic versus Mustache. I love that. Well done, CJ, if you're tuned in. Parker, J-Rob, Gasecki, Laviska. That's a tough one right there, right? Oh, man, this is a barn burner. Preston versus Keelan Cole, or Eifert, Howard, and Conley. You get all 5 right, you get the very exclusive RSJ gear. I know so many of you have been writing in, how do I get your gear? Ultimately, you got to win it. We don't even have a site. We have a site, but we don't have a store set up on our site. So I'm going to type in my choices real quick. Don't worry, guys. I promise I'm getting to those. But I'm going to go Mustache. I'm going to go J-Rob. I'm going to go Gasecki. I like Cole over Preston. And then I'm going to go Conley for just a random long touchdown. And then let's get, Scotty Barrett involved here. Scott Barrett, if you're tuned in, there you go. Harditz and my boy Rotobon, Pete Davidson. If you tag 3 friends, you can get an upgrade to a hoodie as well. So there you go. That's the contest. It is up right now. Check it out and take your best shot at winning. We've been a couple, there's a few weeks where it's been one player away and we would have had to give out 30 shirts. So we're lucky so far. We have not gotten beat yet, but could you crack the code? We'll find out. Marcos Valdez, tuning in every time. I love you, Marcos. Would you rather have Chark or Debo half PPR year long? I think Chark, because, is Debo going to come back fully ready to go? He had that setback that set him back, set him back. Oh, good one, Wolf. But he's now on the IR after it looked like he was going to be ready to go. And that just has me nervous. Is he going to get fully healthy? I don't know. It makes me nervous for sure. Matthew Boehm. I need 2 for 3 and 2 of 3 for flex. James Robinson, Fournette, Hunt. I'm going to bench Fournette out of those ones. I loved how he looked. He's definitely got that closer role on lock. But Robinson and Hunt seem more guaranteed for touches, in my opinion. Phantom Gaming. A lot of YouTube tonight. I love it. Keep it up. And again, if you're on YouTube and you're willing to subscribe and even turn on the notifications for us, cheers. Love it. Can't cheers and not drink. I go Phantom Gaming. I go Woods. Should I put Woods, Gallup, or Woods? I think you're meant to say someone other than Woods twice. But if it's Woods versus Gallup, it's definitely Woods for me. Sarah Riley. We got half PPR flex. David Johnson, Edelman, or Hines. I got to go Edelman there. I don't like that Pittsburgh matchup for David Johnson. Hines, what that asshole do for us last week? Literally 1 touch, 0.9 fantasy points. Can't go back there. Not until I see it again. Give me Edelman. He is the apple of Cam's eye. And if Las Vegas can keep that competitive at all, then Edelman's good for another 8-10 catches. I go Edelman. Pick 2 for Eric Schaefer. DJ Moore, R. Anderson, Cole, Parker, AJ Green. Parker's my favorite. Oh, DJ Moore. DJ Moore is my favorite, correction. And then Parker's my clear second favorite. So give me that. Wolfie, climb that leaderboard. I have full faith. Yes, sir. That's the goal. In Pena's thoughts. Keelan Cole over Deontay Johnson or JuJu Schuster since Julio is questionable. No. I love Deontay too much, and JuJu is a little questionable. So is Julio. But benching either for Cole, who I think could score tonight. Yes. I think JuJu's on the better side of questionable. So give me Deontay and JuJu. Akers smoked ribs. Nothing like a good pair of smoked ribs, eh? That was stupid. But he hasn't looked great. He hasn't, but I want to get him fully healthy before I bench him. Wolfpack Strong, congrats, top 10. Jeremy Taylor, much appreciated, dude. Absolutely pumped about it. Hillary Margaret, Shenault, McKinnon, or Jacksonville? Okay. I'm not putting in Jacksonville there. Give me McKinnon. I'm so high on McKinnon this week, and I'm very high on Shenault. So that's just a testament to how high I am on McKinnon than I am Shenault. Keelan Cole over Traequan Smith. Whew, neck and neck. Love them both. Max got rivered. Sorry you got rivered, brother. I think so. I'm not confident, but I think so. Yes, I would put Cole in tonight. Because if, by God, Michael Thomas came back, he's not – this is tough, though, because Traequan gets a bad Green Bay secondary, but Cole gets a bad Miami secondary without their top corner. Yeah, give me Cole. I'm putting it down, Cole. Yeah, I want to put Viska in. Do you start him over Marvin Jones? I like the start. Yeah, I want to put Viska in. Yeah, I like it. Do you start him over Marvin Jones Jr., Mike Williams? Yes, over Mike Williams. So, yeah, put him in over Mike Williams, Nayon Patel. First time, long time, Doyle Murphy. Classic. Great to see you, brother. And congrats on the cheers to you and your engagement and everything. Cheers. Corey Davis over Preston Williams for flex. Ooh, Doyle coming in hot first time, long time. Because you get the Thursday night thrill in the pants tonight if you put in Preston Williams, which is always a fun thrill. I'm personally starting Preston myself, but if I had Davis, I would probably put in Davis above him. So to give you my honest answer, it's Davis. But if you want to ride with the Wolf tonight and both have Preston Williams for some fun, real fun, then you could go Preston. But Davis would be my play, especially in PPR against a bad Minnesota secondary. I go Davis there. Keelan Cole for Juan Pena. Keenan Cole over Deontay? No. JuJu? Oh, you already asked this one on a couple of platforms, it would seem. I still have a wide receiver open. I wouldn't put Keelan Cole in over any of those guys. I like Keelan, but no. Dynasty League for Mike Keenan. We got kickoff in a few minutes. Holy shit, we have a lot of questions still. So, lost Barkley, thin on running backs. Should I trade Swift a first? And I can't answer that. That's too much for me right now. Sorry, Mike. DM me. We can get to that later. Standards League, start 3. Boyd Slayton, Hollywood Brown, Gage, Corey Davis for Jeremiah Moore. Give me Hollywood as the lock. Give me Slayton as the target hog. Give me Boyd. But check in, as you always do, Jeremiah, on Sunday after you carry all those chairs out at church. Because if Julio's out, then Gage might be the play. Check back in, but I like that one. Keelan Cole or Deshaun Jackson. Keelan Cole, baby. Pick not 2 non-PPR. James Robinson, Gurley, David Montgomery, Mike Davis, Daryl Henderson. Give me J-Rob. Give me Montgomery there. Stafford or Tannehill, yay for top 10. Thanks, Hillary Margaret. I go Tannehill this week. Got to ride the thrill of Tannehill. 5 bench spots. Don't know what we're talking about, Mike Clay. Scary Terry or Keelan Cole. Give me Scary Terry, no doubt about it. That's an easy one. Come on, look at that one. Thank you for all your advice and insight. Much appreciated. Have a great night. Cheers. Thank you, Mitchell. Pick 2, DJ Moore, Anderson, Cole, Parker, AJ Green. I answered that one. It's DJ Moore. It's Parker. Drop Swift for Kelly. I like the play, but Swift is intriguing. So if you can keep him, I'd rather keep him. But yes, I'd rather have Kelly at this point. Worried about Ingram? Not too worried, no. Now he's going to be a potential target hog with Shepard out. I like it. Should we be looking at Damian Harris? Yes, I absolutely think he's worth a stash, especially if you have bench trash to cut. Sony Michel has looked so god-awful that Damian Harris could pick right up as a featured back in that offense, as he was in camp. Cheers. Thank you, Diego. Start 3, Robinson, McKinnon, Kelly, Gaskin. Bench Gaskin, no doubt. Broderick Fortier. Standard Minshew or Stafford. Keelan Cole or Lazard. Cole and Stafford is where I'm going. Tig Biddies. Funny name. Do you think Preston Williams has a breakout game tonight? I sure hope so. He's my wide receiver 3. Can I say it confidently? No. Can I say I'm praying for it? Yes. And if he's ever going to have it, it's against this pathetic Jags team. Get that man in the end zone once, maybe even twice. I have JuJu, Deontay as starters. I already answered that one. Not doing that again. YouTube done. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jeremy. Anybody else, please do too. Am I wrong starting Cole and Shenault tonight rather than wait on A.G. Bay and John Brown? I would wait on John Brown. He's going to play, and I'd get Shenault in. But AJB's not going to play. So John Brown, Shenault, you can bench Cole at that point, but those two are where I'm going. Josh Kelly, Keenan Cole. I'm going Josh Kelly, Mo Decker, no doubt. Got the subscription. There's Tunes tuning in from 2 channels. That's the dedication to the Wolfpack. I love to see Tunes. Thanks, Wolf. You the man. You're the man, fella. Tight ends, Ingrams or Schultz, half PPR. Give me Ingram as the potential target hog this week against a banged-up 49ers defense. Josh Kelly or Keelan Cole, PPR. Give me Josh Kelly. 2 touchdowns coming this week. At worst, only 1. Carolina's horrendous. Have CEH, Miles Sanders, Josh Taylor, Gibson, Kelly on the bench. Need wide receiver help. I can't do trades right now, Nayan Patel, because we're doing sit starts. Do you like Keelan Cole tonight? I do. Depends on the options. Dynasty PPR. I have Kittle. Doyle, hit me up with a dynasty question elsewhere because we got sit starts and we only have a few minutes. Is it kicked off at 8:20? I don't even know. Subscribe. Thank you, Broderick. Much appreciated. If you guys have these in-depth dynasty questions, I'd love to answer them. Just make sure to hit me. Gasecki or Fant, half PPR. Give me Gasecki tonight. I'm into it. Ertz or Gasecki? Momo, give me Gasecki. I'm all about the Gasecki train tonight. Let's get him, baby. Marco Escobar, handcuff for Jay Taylor. Hines or Wilkins. What? You don't handcuff Jay Taylor because he's going to be a fucking monster all year. But Hines would be the guy I'd rather have. My RBs are Zeke, A. Jones, Eckler, Kelly, Ingram, Hines. My wide receivers are beat up A.J. Brown, A. Robinson, M. Jones, P. Williams. Would you trade Eckler for McLaurin? You have pretty damn good depth. I don't think so still. I really think Eckler is going to rebound and be a monster the rest of the year. Minshew or Tanny? Give me Tanny. Cole over Shenault? No, give me Shenault. First time seeing this. Awesome. Thanks. Subscribe. I'm so happy you joined, Nyan. We'll be here every Thursday and Saturday, and also a bunch of other live streams throughout the week. James Robinson, Laviska, Kareem. Give me Kareem. But if you really want that Thursday night rush, go with James Robinson. A.J. Brown, unlikely to play Brady. Cole over DJ Moore or Allen Robinson? No, neither. No shot. And Fant, Ertz, or John. I think I go Ertz, Sarah Riley. We'll see. The game started? It's about to. All righty. That's actually all of the questions. Whew, that was a rapid fire to wind down. But Wolfpack, this was a blast. I love getting all this interaction before a Thursday night. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back live on Sunday. So anybody that doesn't play tonight and you still have sit-start questions, come on down, 11 a.m., the Fantasy Tailgate on Sunday. We'll be live for you. I'll also be live Saturday with our DFS show. And spoiler, the Wolf won $2,000 on DraftKings last week. So maybe I just know what I'm doing. Maybe I just got lucky. But I'm going to give you all my insight if you want some DraftKings knowledge, both Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. If you want to get some more questions answered and you want to just chat with the Wolf for fantasy. I love it. You guys are the best. I really appreciate your support. And thanks so much for tuning in. Best of luck. Let's get all those points you need tonight and the rest of week 3. Get those W's, Wolfpack, and we'll see you some other time this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, live streams. Cheers. Best of luck tonight.